Hi, this is Leah with Backyard Homestead in Starkville, Mississippi, and I wanted to show some of our blooming plants in the front. Just a little garden yard update now that spring is really here. This is our snowball viburnum in the front yard. Right, this is as you're walking out of our house, the front yard, and it's really showing out this year. So we have this in bloom, and we have our spirea is about to start blooming. Has a few tiny little blooms, a few little buds, but it's right at the front door. And then when you come out, we have azaleas in the front, and we mostly have blooming things in the front, not so many edible plants. We used to have gardenias out here, and then we had little snowball azaleas, but they didn't make it. So we have planted blueberries out here, and we have a few little blueberries coming on these. So we're gradually kind of converting everything over to edibles, but we still have a lot of ornamental in the front. But we have three blueberry bushes out here. And like I said, this is our snowball viburnum. And here we have azaleas. And then let me walk you around and show you these azaleas in the front. This is our, sorry about the sun, this is our kidney-shaped bed in the front, and I am going to, when our strawberries start multiplying this year, I want to catch the babies like I've done in other years, and move them out and turn this whole bed in front of the azaleas into a strawberry bed. So that's one of the projects I have planned for this summer. But these are our azaleas, and they're in full bloom. So we have a lot of things blooming now, trying to attract the pollinators in. I have a camellia, it was putting on a show earlier. And our knockout roses at the front of this bed, and they're starting to bloom now. And we have, I showed y'all the loropetalum a while back, and it's kind of died down now. But I have a few more azaleas on this side, and the camellias have stopped blooming. But this is the front where the azaleas are. I'm going to take you around to the side and show you our blackberries, our thornless blackberries that we planted last year. There's bumblebees working this. Don't want to get too close and irritate him, but a lot of bumblebees. I've seen a few honeybees out here. Okay, and these are our thornless blackberries that we planted last year, and they are really putting on a lot of new growth this year and starting to look good. They are blooming out. Got lots of blood and lots of buds and lots of blooms, so hopefully this will translate into lots and lots of berries. We didn't really get to eat hardly any off of this last year, but it was the first year we had it, so we didn't really expect too much. But it'd be cool if we got to eat some fruit this year. But lots of buds, and lots of blooms, and lots of new growth. And it's thornless, which is wonderful. A little spider. Okay, and now around to the garden. We've got lots of maintenance to do in the garden. We pretty much have let all the cool weather crops go to seed, and we're not growing them to save the seed because we have all different varieties growing out here, but we are growing them just to bloom and attract the pollinators and get the pollinators used to coming around this way. So it is about time for us to start pulling or chopping off at the ground and replanting about everything back here. Of course, we'll leave the asparagus, and it's still doing well. You can see a lot of spears back here ready to be picked now. Big chunky spears this year. This garlic patch we will weed around and mulch around well, and it's looking healthy, but it needs some maintenance. This we'll bend over, plant in between, and then mulch around. All this, some of it's going to seed, definitely going to flower. This cabbage is last year we got huge harvests off this cabbage, but this year it just kind of did a little bit, and now it's starting to go to seed. So every year's a little different. I guess we had it planted on the other side of the garden last year, and this weather's been weird. It never got really, really cold, but then we didn't really have much of a spring. It went from cool to really, really warm during the day. So not much of a cool season, not much of an in-between. just kind of wanted to give you an overview, a shot of the status of the garden. And as we get it cleaned up and start planting our summer, our warm weather crops, kind of give you updates and put it all together. But our onions are going crazy. They look great. Those onions in the raised bed look really good. This is our crop of potatoes that we just kind of put on top of the ground and covered with hay. And they're looking pretty healthy. Got a good patch of them over here. And they're looking nice. Got lettuce in the pots. I made a big salad out of this, and I've been carrying it for lunch for my lunches at work every day. Got this lettuce, the black-seeded Simpson. And over here, got the Lola Rosa, and it's delicious. Show you, these are our flats of things that we've planted from seed. These are our, let's see which tomatoes are which. These are tomatoes. Right, this flat and this flat are aroma tomatoes. These are Better Boys. I have a little Swiss chard planted in with them too. This right here is cabbage. This is a flat of broccoli. Over here we have squash. Squash we started. And these are peppers. This is the Stoll's evergreen I showed earlier in the video. We started it too early and it got way too big, so we went ahead and started 2 more flats. So these are the flats. It's plenty warm now to set this out, so we're going to set this out soon. But this flat is the Stoll's evergreen we started from our own seed that we saved. And we have another flat of it over here. This is another flat of the Stoll's evergreen, and we started from a seed that we saved from last year's crop, and we're going to plant it out either one afternoon this week or maybe this weekend. But it's plenty warm now to set it out. This is a poinsettia that were given away at the co-op. I'm trying to rehabilitate. We'll see how that goes. And this is our red Russian kale, and it has kicked in and started doing really well. So before we get rid of it, we're going to pick it and can a bunch of this before it gets ready to bloom. And we have Siberian kale over there. Let me run you over there. Siberian kale is so good. I've been eating it like crazy. Made a big oven omelet, oven quiche with it and our eggs, because we're getting lots of eggs right now. Been eating that every day too. But the Siberian kale is doing really well. So I'm going to probably this weekend or within the next couple weeks at least, I like to leave it out here as long as possible and eat it fresh as long as possible. But before I see it's starting to bolt now. So before it all starts going to seed, we'll just do a huge harvest on that and can some, because we canned greens last year about this time, and they're delicious canned. It just makes them real soft and tender. Just, it's better to eat fresh, but canned is good. Definitely better than store-bought. Got honeybees. See, this is why we hate to get rid of all these blooming things. We've got honeybees working it all the time, but hopefully they'll remember where it is, and we'll get the other stuff out and it starts blooming. They'll keep coming. I was trying to show you my bee. He's being shy. Got honeybees. Making him mad. Right. I came over here to look at the fruit trees, and this is one of our cherry trees, and it is covered with cherries. That's kind of exciting. Covered. There's cherries. Cherries all over it. There's a big cluster there, yeah. Wow, hope we get to eat some. Last year we had some on the other cherry tree that looked promising, but the birds got them. Before they even get ripe, they start turning a little bit and the birds would eat them. So maybe there'll be so many on here this year that they'll leave them alone and we'll get some. And I wanted to show you, this is our peach tree, one of our peach trees. We have 2. And it is hanging with peaches again this year. So, looking good, even more than last year. Thought it was doing well last year, but it's hanging with peaches this year. Look at all those. Look at that. Hanging. This is cool. Here are, this branch is pretty impressive. Look at all those. Oh, this will be great if we get all these peaches. There's another branch with a bunch. Pretty fun. Oh yeah, and our fig. Last year I think we got a fig. This year there's a bunch of them on here. Maybe a good fruit year for us. And our blueberries. A bunch of little blueberries on there. Looking good. Anyway, it's kind of an overview of our cool weather crops, and definitely need some garden maintenance, but it's pretty and green and lots of pollinators buzzing around the flowers. I do hate to cut it down, but I guess it's time because it's definitely warm enough to start planting these warm weather crops. Let me take you over here and show you. I'm sure you can see it, but look at all this blooming. These are the turnips, turnip greens, blooming like crazy. There have been bees on this a good bit. Yeah, strawberries, doing well. We did our heavy mulch this year. We mulch really deep and heavy every other year. So every other year is a not so great strawberry harvesting year. This is supposed to be the not so great one. We've got a good little amount of blooms, so we may get some fruit out of it. I still have a bunch that I put up from last year. Last year was a really great strawberry year. But maybe we'll have a bunch this year. That'd be great. Right, and I guess that's about it. As we do projects, I'll come and update you and show you what it looked like. You know, I'll have this to see what it looked like before, and then show you what we do as we work on it. And I guess still a wet, mucky mess out here, but maybe it'll dry out. We had a pretty sunny day today. Maybe we'll have some more. And that's it for now.